All right, everybody, we ready for tip number 2? Okay, tip number 2, have a plan. Have a plan. Let's look at how I plan. Now, I will say, one of the people that we are coaching, her name is Betsy. She's phenomenal. If you haven't met her, say hi to her in this group. She saw my planner and she went, okay. And Tiffany says, I kind of thought it'd be a little bit more neurotic than that. I'm very organized. I think logically, but I think in flow maps. So if you ever think about or stumble onto my thinking maps, they're kind of interesting. I use my windows a lot to think through projects. I have paper on my walls. Sticky notes are my friends because I think in flow maps. But those flow maps need to come back to organization. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways how I organize myself. Here's a month-long calendar, okay? Now, my month-long calendar looks like this. It is color-coded, all right? And let me show you. After a while, I learned my coding, but I put it up here. So live videos, that's my key. Hey, make sure you look presentable because you have to go live and it's kind of an important thing to be on time. Coaching calls, direct sales runway to do, and that's a deadline for me. Personal appointments and direct sale runway blackouts or blockouts that I need to block things out for. So if you'll notice here, we have an active push group that's happening. And that is a deadline. Those are things when I have to post what's happening for them. At 11 a.m. my time, we do a Q&A. I had seat covers installed in my car. That was a personal appointment. Okay? And these are just, it's organized for me in at a glance. So this is where things happen, where if it's an outstanding appointment, this is not where my to-do lists go. If you'll notice, these are just activities, deadlines, appointments. And if you'll notice on this side, Tiffany and I used this as a planning weekend. She was in town and we blocked everything else off to plan. So this right here is my at a glance for the month. This contains my appointments and deadlines, no other information. Okay? That's my month. My week. My week is based on my monthly calendar. Now, I am using 2 different things for you right now. It's normally in one, okay? So normally it would be here, but I was going to transition into a different book. So that's why I did it that way for you. This is my weekly to-do, and this is based on my monthly calendar. So just like when I was a teacher, I sat down on Fridays and I planned out our next month or our next week. I do the same. So if I see on here, on the 14th, we're doing a quarterly planning, and I know I have a couple things that are a deadline for that, I then put them here. So I plan this way. This becomes my to-do list based on my month. So the live Q&A, I just put that on there to make sure there's nothing I have to prep for. I don't usually. Load trainings, and I put the dates or the times that they need to load. Then here, review and sign legal documents. I have a date that's due by. Prep coaching call, because I have a coaching call on Thursdays. Okay? And then send summary of it after the call. I just have everything here outlined of what has to happen. This is, okay, let's say I have a designated work time and I have met the urgent to-do lists. I then have a running list here of things that I need to think about, update, think through, be ready to talk about. And this then gets hit if I have time on a given day. Now, these things will eventually become an action item that is a dedicated to-do list because they're further down the road or they're down in my month. But these are things that are upcoming that, hey, Corey, if you have time, Pinterest training's coming up next month. Where are you? Start thinking about that. Start doing some planning for that. And I have a planning document that I use. Then what happens on this is once it's done, it gets checked off. If for whatever reason it doesn't happen, it gets dropped down to the next day. Then at the end of the month, at the end of the week, I am looking at everything that did or did not get done for whatever reason, and it becomes an urgent to-do list on the following day. Then I look at my upcoming things to think about, and I see, do any of these need to become an action item in the next week while I'm looking at my month-long plan. I don't use Sunday as a day here for appointments. I use it as a thinking area. Sticky notes are my friend. I love them. Okay. I'll show you a couple things that I do with that. But your second one is to be organized. Outline your week and your month so you know what's coming and you know what you need to change. Go find yourself the perfect planner and get step 2 done.